Hi guys, today we're looking at cycles and how easy they are, even though most people usually dread them. I'm Fiona from IELTS Exam Training Courses and Members Academy. So what is a cycle? Well, it could be just a natural cycle like greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, water cycle, things like that. They're different from processes which have an end and a beginning, but they are sometimes called natural processes like the El Niño effect, for example, and the greenhouse effect. Sometimes they're processes that you can read about online, like the nitrogen process. And sometimes they're just natural cycles of animals like the butterfly. And this is the one we're going to look at today. So a question I often get asked is, where do I start in a cycle? Because there is no start and finish point. Well, it doesn't matter. In this one, for example, you can start with the butterfly laying an egg, or you could start with the egg. It doesn't matter, really doesn't matter. Just use your judgment on that. Notice how you can use active tenses, so the butterfly lays its eggs, or passive, the egg is laid on a leaf. Or you can use verbs which don't need an object. Life begins. That's it. So what do you say? Well, let's just keep it really simple to start off. Pause the video if you want and think of maybe 10 sentences that you could say about this cycle. So we said already it begins as an egg, the egg is laid, then simply the caterpillar hatches, so there is some vocabulary you'll need, but there are synonyms for that. It eats the shell, it eats the leaves. The caterpillar grows, it finds a twig, it makes a chrysalis. Now they do give you some of the vocabulary and you can use that because you can't find synonyms for them. That's fine. It comes out. So here we've got a synonym for hatches. It sits on the chrysalis, transforms, a new butterfly emerges, a synonym for hatches or comes out. The wings expand and the butterfly is ready to fly. It reproduces, you could just say it lays more eggs, and the life cycle begins again. Now I found this on a YouTube video. It's not a real question, but I want to show you how you can find so many cycles and you can practice them by watching these kinds of videos. I'll put the link in the description. So those are the simple bones, the framework of the cycle. We need to make it a bit better. So can you pause the video? First of all, look at the tenses I've put in bold and what do you notice about them? Well, clearly it's just simple present tense. That's what makes the cycle so simple. You don't have to think about past or present perfect or conditionals or anything. Just present simple. The only thing you have to think about is to remember the S if you're talking about it, and then no S if you're changing it to plural for variety. Of course, there's the passive, that's something else, but it's still present, simple, passive. And there aren't many when you describe a cycle. What else do you notice? Well, linking words. We talked about this in cohesion and coherence. I've put them here in red. Pause the video again and try to analyse the variety that we have here. There are sequences, then, overall, and then after this, at first, but also within there are linking words which are more sophisticated, like after which, and these ing, present participle verbs to link, and I have a video about that. Contrasts, but, and ing again here. So what do you need to do? Well, make sure that you use simple present. This is true for all cycles and processes because they happen every day as a habit. You do need to review and use the passive. You don't need it much in this example, but when you're doing processes, you do. Always remember to decide if you need a S for the third person and then how the spelling changes for certain sounds, like it hatches needs ES after those ch and sh sounds. Sequences we know, but don't use too many mechanically. Try to use them naturally. And the way to do that is to use them within the sentences, not just at the start of every sentence, especially using this very advanced ing, present participle. This is a really useful tip, and I talk about this in all kinds of task 1. For example, the map. Instead of just saying an egg, a small egg. Caterpillar, well, the baby caterpillar or the young caterpillars. Leaves, well, you could say the fresh leaves or young leaves. Here we know it's milkweed leaves. And instead of just saying a twig, choose something like the underside of a twig. Those little words, those descriptive words will make a huge difference. It will add variety, complex language, precision, and it'll give you more words, which you often need with a cycle. Synonyms, it's absolutely fine to use words that they've given you, but if you can think of some more, then it's good, of course. Hatches means it comes out of the egg, so it emerges, and in the model we saw it said it wriggles free. Very high level. Try not to just use verbs. Adjectives will give more variety and make it less boring. So here it does not move. At this stage it does not move, and you could say for a few days or a few weeks, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're wrong in this kind of thing. They're only looking at your language. So if you add it does not move for a few hours or for a few days, that's great. So you could say it is motionless. And similarly, there are nouns and collocations which will also add that variety. So instead of saying it transforms, you could say that, or it changes, it develops, or this lovely collocation, it undergoes a transformation. So the noun there is transformation, and the collocation is undergo, undergoes. Another example, instead of just saying it looks for some nice juicy leaves, it goes in search of. So notice search is the noun, but you need the in and of to make the correct chunk for that whole collocation with it goes in search of. So I'd love to know, have you ever written about a cycle in a test or in practice? Please put it in the comments below so we can see what kind of cycles come up. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.